Hi, my name is Mark Farmer. I'm here to show you my garden this year. It's going to be very small, very simple. This year I'm going to try a combination of different soils mixed organically with my compost, Miracle Grow organic food or organic potting soil, peat moss, and manure, which you can also buy at the store. I'll just pan around my garden a little. Put this thing on a little free motion here. This is my small garden area here, right up against my neighbor's fence. I have various tubs and things I usually grow my plants in, as well as wire cages, which you can see here. I've tried these. They work pretty well. Problem is harvesting your crop through the screen, so we're going to forego those this year. What I used last year were cages with I leave the ends spiked out like that so I could bury them in the ground, and they held up very well. They don't move. Only problem is when you hit it with a weed whacker or hit it with anything else, it gets caught on the wire. And as far as harvesting your fruits through, you can't quite get them. And they kind of constrict the plant at the same time, and I believe that the galvanized metal also affects the plant. So I would stay away from that. Unless it were like roses or something like that, you want to keep the dogs away from them. It was an idea last year I tried. Didn't seem to work too bad, but not too well. I also tried to use these large tubs, like tomato plants, to raise them off the ground to make a raised garden bed. Also, I put large screens similar to these around the plants. And again, made it hard to weed the plant as well as harvest from the plant. So it was a nice idea, but unless you leave it open, you're going to have a hard time with them. The reason I had the screen around is to keep my dogs, my puppies, out, because they like to eat my plants. As I was just explaining to my neighbor, I'm going to take 3-inch, or actually it's 4-inch PVC pipe, 8 inches tall, and I cut them at 8 inches so I could bury them in the ground about 3 to 4 inches. Still have 3 to 4 inches sticking out. This way I can plant the plants inside with the potting soil and all. Roots can go straight through, and I protect the base of the plant, the stem, for while I'm weeding. I could actually use a weed whacker, and I don't have to worry about damaging the stem. Yeah, a little something else about my garden bed. This particular garden bed anyway. I've spent 3 years in working the soil, and basically, if you look at it now, it doesn't look like much, and there are a lot of rock and debris in there. But I'm gonna, okay, a little out of focus. What I'm gonna do this year is, what's underneath is much better than what's sitting on top, of course. I'll turn it, mix in all my peat moss, my manure, my Miracle Grow organic potting soil, and see what happens. See if what I'm going to do is constrict it to rows, so we don't have to fertilize the whole garden, just the area we're going to plant. To me, that makes a lot more sense. Why waste all your products in a large garden when you're not even planting there? Down at least 8 to 10 inches. Now, as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here. You see the soil looks a little better, at least the wet part of the soil, wetter part. I prefer to do now, what I'm going to do this year I should say, is make trenches. Like I said, I'll add my ingredients into the trench. I'll then pile it, make a mound, a should say mound it. And then I'm not going to bother with the soil around it. Okay, now I've got one row completely done. Not even out of breath. It took me 5 minutes. Normally we go 8 to 10 inches. I went about 6. I'm going to be adding materials. I'm going to be mounding. And like I said, later on, side dressing it if I need fertilizer or anything. So you really don't have to go too crazy. I'm trying to do garden simply this year. Less work, less maintenance, and hopefully better results.